Today's show, we're talking about trades. I got 4 trades for you. Now, I've been inundated with questions about trades, whether it be on the live show or in video, so I figure I'll make a video just dedicated to trades. These trades are going to be current players in the NFL, obviously, and one for the NFL draft. It's also players that have been named or rumored towards the Detroit Lions from articles. It could be players whom you don't expect the Lions to trade for or do. I'm going to give you my thoughts on all of these players in these trades for you guys to go ahead and watch here. Before we get into the video, go ahead and follow me on Twitter at MicroMike85. Right now I have 2,125. Let's get to 2,200. That would be an addition of 75. Now, one of the players that the Lions were rumored to be looking to get, obviously, here is Haason Reddick. You heard all about it. He has been put basically on the trade block from the Philadelphia Eagles. Pass rusher, still young and a good player for any team to play on. He's played on multiple teams, and he's produced at a high level. He consistently does that. Well, you see what he did last year here, 29 solo tackles, 11 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 0 interceptions. He played in 15 games. And what's really good about Haason Reddick is he can play in multiple systems. He can play on the outside. He's a little bit of a linebacker. He's a universal player. I think the Detroit Lions would love to have something like that. Now, as we know, we only got Marcus Davenport in free agency. We still need more pass rushers. Why? Because we got rid of Romeo Okwara. He retired. Julian Okwara's gone. And then obviously Charles Harris. So Lions need a little bit more of the pass rushing help. They can do it in the NFL draft, or they can do it in free agency and or like this, a via trade. I think he would be a great compliment to Aiden Hutchinson. I really do. So if the Lions strike out in the draft, that is another way to acquire a pass rusher if they feel they need to get one. I don't think it's going to cost a lot for the Detroit Lions to acquire Haason Reddick. Why is that? Because, again, Haason Reddick wants out, and he's pretty much on the trade block. So I think the Detroit Lions could get a Haason Reddick for a 6th-round pick, and that's really not hard to get, in all honesty. So if in the draft they still didn't get it, they can throw a 6th-round pick, I think, to the Philadelphia Eagles and get a veteran pass rusher. So question for you, should the Detroit Lions look to acquire Haason Reddick? Do you think you'd want to get them? Well, if you do, T for trade or P for pass. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. One thing I do know is I hate, and I mean hate, getting tickets on the spot for sporting events, i.e. the Tigers, and for me, Grand Rapids Griffins over here in West Michigan. So a great way to stop all the ridiculousness is simple. You go to GameTime and download GameTime. It's simple. You get the best and the lowest prices guaranteed. And unlike me, you could stop stressing over tickets. It's real easy. Just get the tickets from the app. Getting hype for the fun that you're going to have instead of stressing. It is easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area. That's sporting events, concerts, comedy shows, or whatever. Their lowest price is guaranteed. It's the Game Time guaranteed, which means you're always going to get the best prices. And if you find tickets in the same section or row or less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. You can get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, baseball, basketball, concerts, and more. In the middle of the screenshot, by the way, I think it's a fantastic feature of the app. It shows you where your seat is, and if you move your phone left or right, you can see the area like a 3D live photo. So download the app, plug in Chat Sports to get $20 off your very first purchase. Again, it's real easy. Go to the redeem code section, plug in Chat Sports. You got to create an account, terms to apply, have an email to get this bad boy done. The information is going to be in the comment section and description of this video. If you're buying any sporting tickets this year, make sure you're using GameTime. Download GameTime today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. What about a player that the Detroit Lions been connected to for some time? And again, it's coming up this offseason. It happened at the trade deadline, and now it's happening again. Trade for Patrick Surtain. I'll tell you what, the Detroit Lions need significant help in the secondary, and if you're wanting to get a stud, Patrick Surtain would be an individual you could get. Again, he's one of the best corners in the NFL. All-pro, Pro Bowler. Surtain is a bona fide island player. 59 solo tackles, 1 interception, 12 pass defense. You say that's not the law of stats. Yeah, because nobody wants to throw his way. He is exceptional. He is really good. And if you had Surtain on this football team, the Detroit Lions would have a legit shot to make the Super Bowl. It's one of their biggest weaknesses, and he is one of the best to get a Surtain. Do I think the Lions make a move like this? Personally, I know I don't. I think Heavy.com and a lot of people would like to see it. I just don't think that's Brad House's idea of upgrading. He likes to use the draft, but what if they wanted to? It's going to cost a lot to get a Surtain. It would cost the 29th pick this year, first round pick next year, and maybe a little bit more because he is that good of a player. He is an island player. So I got a question for you. Should the Detroit Lions trade for Patrick Surtain? Should they entertain the idea? Y for yes and N for no. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Again, I think it's unrealistic. It's not going to happen, but you see it all the time, so I wanted to give you my legit thoughts on this one. What if you don't want to get him? Name a player you want the Detroit Lions to trade for. It's real easy. Just put a player in the comment section that you would like Detroit to get for their team. What about a trade up in the draft? Of all the scenarios, this is the absolute most likely scenario, is trading up in the draft. This is something that Brad Holmes has done on many occasions, and we need needs. And right now we currently got 7 picks. You could see a situation where the Detroit Lions, like, you know what? Let's go up and get a player. Say a player does fall. Make no mistake about it. The Detroit Lions need help at the edge position, the corner position, and this could be an opportunity for Brad Holmes to jump up like they did for Jameson Williams to acquire a talent. One of the players I think the Lions would trade up for is Jared Verse. Jared Verse would be great to have on this defensive line, and it's possible we're starting to see mock drafts where he's falling a little bit into the teens. So with a player who gets 9 sacks, 23 total, forced fumble of 1, you paired him up with Aiden Hutchinson, and we're talking magnificent trade. Another player the Lions could trade up for, the Toledo Torpedo. Quinn Young-Mitchell could be an option for the Detroit Lions to move up and get. And I don't think you'd have to go to the teens. But to get a Jared Verse, you're probably going to have to move up into the teens. So for the Lions to get him, I'm thinking if he falls to maybe the pick 14, who we do have connections to with the New Orleans Saints, they need a lot of stuff, so maybe the Lions could trade up with them. We'd give them pick 29 and a second-round pick in 2025. That could be what would it take to get a Jared Verse. Maybe flip another pick as well. But if you look at the Jameson Williams trade, the Lions potentially would only have to give up a second-round pick at near 14. Now, if you're going into the top 10, I think you'd have to give up multiple first-round picks. So question for you, should the Lions trade up for an edge? Type HY for hell yes, HN for hell no. Blow up the comment section with your answer. Another player that's been linked to the Detroit Lions here is Stefon Diggs, the wide receiver, veteran wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills. He was with the Vikings. They traded him away. He's a little bit unhappy over there right now, and you're seeing a lot of connections to the Detroit Lions. Why? Because the Lions are close to a Super Bowl. Stefon Diggs is a really, really good wide receiver. He's still producing at a high level for his team, the Buffalo Bills. Last year, he had 107 receptions for 1,183 yards and 8 touchdowns. If you paired him up with our great Amon-Ra St. Brown, you would have St. Brown, Stefon Diggs, and Jameson Williams, Khalif Raymond, Donovan Peoples-Jones. It would be the nastiest wide receiver core in all of football. Make no mistake about it. It would be ridiculous to have him on this football team. Our offense would be number 1 if you were to add a Stefon Diggs. It would be. It would just be consistent play after play. He is still at a high level. However, for a trade like this, It's going to cost the Detroit Lions a little bit, in my opinion. And we're talking finances. You're going to have to pay his contract. That's going to be tough to do for the Lions right now when you have so many other needs on defense. Were you willing to give out that type of compensation to the offense again and a wide receiver where we're pretty good at? I don't think he's a fit for Dan Campbell in the Detroit Lions as Brad Holmes. I really don't. I think he would have an issue here. We want guys that love football, they're committed, that are team first. To me, when I look at Stefon Diggs, he's more of a himself first. He wants all the receptions, and he's not going to get that here. You got too many players, Laporta, St. Brown, Williams. The balls are going to go all around to Jahmyr Gibbs, so he's not going to get all the touches he wants, and we are a run-first team. But what would it take to get him? It would take probably the 29th pick in this year's draft. Are you wanting to give up pick 29 to a veteran wide receiver who is probably not going to be here too long, and you're already got a lot of players in offense? Probably not if you're Brad Holmes. Probably not. You would rather go ahead and simply draft a player at that pick, whether it be you can go wide receiver if you want. If you want to get a wide receiver, you're going to have on a rookie deal for 5 years. You go defense where we really need help. We need a lot of help there. So I don't think it's a legit option. But again, name a player that the Detroit Lions should trade for. It could be a current player right now that are in the NFL or trade up in the NFL draft. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear it. I want to hear all your thoughts on this one. That's what it's all about. Again, we're going to be live for the NFL draft here on my channel. We're breaking news. We're dropping videos nearly every single day, so you're going to want to hit that subscribe button. You're going to want to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the latest Lions news and rumors. With that said, folks, adios.